NFL players are some of the biggest, strongest, and fastest athletes in the world. Since it started, the NFL has recruited the biggest and strongest athletes it could find. All coaches love tall and big wide receivers and quarterbacks, but there are a select few players whose size goes against what all coaches and scouts say is necessary. Number 10, Kyler Murray, 5'10". Kyler is the second shortest NFL quarterback of all time. Coming into the 2019 NFL Draft, Kyler was the highest rated college quarterback. Scouts disliked his size, but after leading the NCAA in yards, touchdowns, and setting records, Kyler was picked number 1 overall by the Arizona Cardinals. Kyler had a successful rookie season, winning 2019 Offensive Rookie of the Year. Kyler Murray's 2020 season has been a great one. Kyler has convinced most that he's the future of the Cardinals and potentially the NFL. Kyler has joined Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson, and Josh Allen as dual-threat quarterbacks, burning defenses with his arm and running right by them with his legs. Number 9, Wes West, 5'9". Being a wide receiver and being short is not a good combo, but Wes was able to be both and still dominate. Wes signed with the San Diego Chargers as an undrafted free agent in 2004, but after only one game, he was cut. During the same season, Wes was picked up by the Miami Dolphins and played 3 seasons with them. After a short stint with Miami, Wes was signed by the New England Patriots. What most people thought was going to be a nobody turned into one of the best possession wide receivers in the 2010s. Wes put up numbers that no one thought was possible for someone his size. After 5 Pro Bowl years and 2 Super Bowl losses with the Patriots, Wes continued his NFL career with the Broncos. With the Broncos, Wes was able to get to 1 more Super Bowl, but lost it to the Seahawks. With his career coming to an end, he played 1 last season with the St. Louis Rams. Wes retired after a season with the Rams and started a new career as a wide receivers coach for the Texans and now for the 49ers. Number 8, Barry Sanders, 5'8". If there's anyone who can prove that size doesn't matter, it's Barry Sanders. Barry was a star running back for the Detroit Lions from 1989 to 1998. Barry was voted to the Pro Bowl in each of his seasons. Barry received the NFL honor of Offensive Player of the Year twice and was named the most elusive runner in NFL history in 2007. Barry was voted the greatest short player in NFL history. Even though Barry is one of the greats at his position, he was never able to win a Super Bowl because of the lack of talent around him. At the age of 31, Barry Sanders retired, stating that he wanted to sort through his feelings. Number 7, Clyde EdwardsHelaire, 5'7". Drafted 32 overall by the Kansas City Chiefs, Clyde is the shortest player on the team. Although his height isn't great, his play is. In his NFL debut, Clyde rushed for 138 yards, setting an NFL record for the youngest player to rush for 130 yards in his NFL debut. For a pass-heavy offensive team like the Chiefs, Clyde adds a new part to the already loaded Chiefs offense. Number 6, RobinsonColeman, 5'7". As a cornerback, Nickel has to guard wide receivers who are tall, big, and fast, and being short doesn't help. But his athleticism and his speed has helped him play well in the NFL. Nickel went undrafted in 2013 by the Buffalo Bills. He played 4 years there until he went to the St. Louis Rams and played for 3 years. In the 2017-2018 season, the Rams were a top team in the league. They played the New Orleans Saints in the NFC Championship game. In the final seconds of the game, RobinsonColeman hit New Orleans wide receiver Tommy Lee Lewis before Lewis touched the ball. The controversial hit was talked about for weeks. The NFL later acknowledged that this hit was completely illegal and that they messed up on their call. RobinsonColeman is currently on the Philadelphia Eagles. Number 5, Boston Scott, 5'6". In 2014, as a running back, Boston Scott set the record for the shortest player to play football at Louisiana Tech. After 4 successful years from 2014 to 2017, Boston announced for the NFL Draft. At the Combine, Boston ran a 4.4 40-yard dash in 2018. In the 2018 NFL Draft, Boston was drafted by the New Orleans Saints in the 6th round. Scott initially made the 53-man roster, but was waived and re-signed to the practice squad. At the end of the 2018 season, Boston was signed by the Eagles, but didn't get much playing time. In 2019, Boston had his best season as a pro with 5 touchdowns and almost 300 yards. Number 4, Tarik Cohen, 5'6". On every team Tarik Cohen has played on since he picked up a football, he has been the shortest player. But that hasn't stopped him from making a big impact. Tarik went to North Carolina A&T University as a running back and set records for rushes and rush yards. Although he set school records, Tarik draft stock fell because of his size. Tarik was drafted in the 4th round by the Chicago Bears. In his rookie season, Tarik was used as a rush and receiving threat. He ran and caught for over 300 yards each and had 3 touchdowns. In 2018, Tarik had his best season as a pro, rushing for 448 yards and receiving for 725. Tarik was voted to the Pro Bowl and the first team All-Pro. In the 3rd game of the 2020 season, Tarik suffered a season-ending injury, tearing his ACL. Number 3, Darren Sproles, 5'6". As one of the fastest and most athletic punt returners in the NFL, Darren Sproles is also a dual-threat running back. Darren was drafted in the 4th round of the 2005 NFL Draft by the San Diego Chargers. In his first 2 seasons, Darren rode the bench behind LaDainian Tomlinson. In 2007 season, Darren set a record by returning a punt and a kickoff for his first 2 touchdowns in the same game. Darren was waived by the Chargers and then picked up by the New Orleans Saints. In the best stretch of Darren's career, he played for the New Orleans Saints, putting up around 650 yards in 3 straight seasons, but only had 5 touchdowns in those seasons. After the 3rd year, the Saints decided to move on, and Darren continued his jersey with the Philadelphia Eagles. Darren was never able to put up numbers as well as he did with the New Orleans Saints, but his run with the Eagles was a surprisingly long one. Darren spent 5 years with the Eagles, only putting up 690 yards in the 5 seasons combined. Although Darren never got a 1,000-yard rushing season, he was able to get a Super Bowl win with the Eagles in 2018. Number 2, Trindon Holliday, 5'5". As the 2nd shortest person to ever play in the NFL, you can imagine that it was a struggle for Trindon to get his career started. Trindon had a good junior and senior year of high school football playing running back, but colleges wouldn't accept him because of his height. His high school coach saw his potential, so he brought Holliday to a LSU training camp. Coaches were immediately turned off by his size, thinking he could never be a threat in college football. After doing some basic drills, the coaches made him run a 40-yard dash. Trindon was wearing high-top basketball shoes and wasn't even in a runner stance, so when the coaches clocked him running a 4.28-second 40-yard dash, they didn't know what to say. Trindon played at LSU as a punt returner from 2006 to 2009. In 2010, Trindon was drafted by the Houston Texans in the 6th round. After an injury in the preseason, Trindon couldn't play into the 2010 season, but in 2012, Trindon got his first real chance to make an impact, and against the Carolina Panthers, he returned a kickoff for a touchdown. Trindon had a struggle holding onto the football. He fumbled 6 times, but fortunately only lost 1. In the middle of the 2012 season, the Texans waived Trindon. He was picked up by the Denver Broncos. Trindon had the best chapter of his career with the Denver Broncos. He returned a punt and kickoff versus the Ravens in the postseason, making him the only player in history to return a punt and a kickoff for a touchdown in the same postseason game. As of 2020, Trindon holds 11 records for the Denver Broncos. Number 1, Jack Spiro, 5'1". Jack's NFL career was a short one, but because of his ridiculous lack of size, he's included in this list. Jack played in 1929 with the Staten Island Stapletons as a blocking back. He only played in 1 game. In the 1 game he played, Jack didn't have a big effect, but the Stapletons were still able to win the game 34-0. Funny enough, Jack Spiro holds the record for shortest NFL player and the NFL player with the shortest career. If you enjoyed this video and want more, click the subscribe button. Thanks for watching Instant Sports.